This is Mike Jacko with Real Estate Promo in Manria with another Flip It Friday video tip for you guys. And this week I want to talk about what is seller financing, more specifically what the term seller financing is. Because I've had several people in the last couple of weeks ask me more about seller financing, and some people are under the impression that seller financing isn't actually a term used for a way to buy a property, and that's not the case. Seller financing is a term we use to describe multiple ways that we can buy properties. And the way I've kind of been boiling it down here lately is I've been telling people seller financing is a term we use when I buy a property from a seller where I'm not bringing in cash or bringing in my own financing, but I'm using either the seller's existing financing or they're providing me with financing of some sort. So for example, buying property subject to. So taking over their existing mortgage and making the payments on their mortgage. Well, it was the lender's mortgage, they just let me make payments on that mortgage. That's a form of seller financing. Contract for deed or a land contract, agreement for deeds, where you're literally making a payment to the seller on a monthly basis until you've paid it off and then they give you the full deed. That's a form of seller financing. So is a lease with the option to buy. That's also a form of seller financing. So there's, three primary ways. There's a lot of other creative ways. Just get really creative and use your imagination. There's no one specific way or thing that is actually considered seller finance. It's just getting creative. And one common one might be taking over an existing mortgage subject to, and the seller still has some equity, and they agree to do a seller carryback. And so maybe you're going to make a small $10,000 carryback for their equity. Maybe you make monthly payments on that, or maybe you made an agreement one lump sum in a year from now. That would be a form of seller financing. Another form of seller financing that I've used in the past, and I actually just talked to somebody who just did this one this spring, or this past summer, where they had, the seller was free and clear, the property needed a lot of work, the seller just wanted to sell it, and so they agreed upon a price, but they didn't pay it to the seller at that time. They basically did a contract for deed. They went and did the renovation on it, they did the work, the seller got a flat fee for the property, and then they split the equity, anything above that certain amount, less whatever the investor put into it for the rehab. And so both the investor and the seller made a tidy little profit on that. That would be a form of seller financing. So just get creative and figure out ways to buy a property and pay the seller their equity or take over their existing financing. That is what seller financing is. So we'll see you guys back here on next week for another Flip It Friday video tip.